I studied abroad for 3 years, but Ethan secretly married someone else behind my back. He loved me, yet when my life was in danger, he went to take care of another woman. When I found out the truth, he even begged me for the 3 of us to live together. I love you, I can't give up on either of you. Can't you do this one thing for me? Beneath his declarations of love was his most hypocritical facade, and I was fed up. Buy a house for Ethan, as a gift for waiting for me for 2 years. Looking at the enormous house in front of me, I was already planning our future. I had been accepted to a fashion design institute abroad for my doctoral studies, and even though Ethan and I hadn't been married long at the time, he still firmly supported me. I'll take care of everything at home, Ethan said to me with a serious expression. No matter what you choose to do, I'll always be by your side. Ethan always gave me an immense sense of security. Before I went abroad, he even took me to get our marriage certificate. During those 2 years abroad, Ethan called me via video at least 3 times a week, chatting about everyday happenings and future dreams. We were truly soulmates. So, after returning home, I prepared a big surprise for Ethan. I smiled and said to the real estate agent beside me, "I'll take this one." The real estate agent's eyes immediately widened. "That's great. Many people want this unit." Suddenly, he seemed to remember something. "We happen to have a spring promotion going on, and if you show your marriage certificate, you can get an 80,000 discount. I happen to have it." I took the marriage certificate out of my bag and handed it to the agent. The agent immediately took my marriage certificate. "I'll go process the promotion for you now. Please wait for me here." I nodded and started to walk around the house freely. While waiting, I had already envisioned the house's interior design. This will be the nursery. This room will be the master bedroom. Ethan has as many clothes as I do, so we definitely need to make this a walk-in closet, and this will be. 15 minutes later, the agent finally returned. He looked at me, breathless, his initial delight at closing a big deal completely gone, replaced by an awkward expression. "Your marriage certificate," he stammered, looking at me, "it's not valid." At that moment, I thought he was joking. "Stop messing around. How could it not be valid? It's not April's Day, is it?" I'm really not joking." The agent pushed the marriage certificate into my hand. This marriage certificate should have already expired. It seemed the agent wasn't joking. In that instant, I was stunned as well. Ethan and I had personally gone to the county clerk's office to get our marriage certificate. How could it be invalid? It had only been a few years at most. At this point, I didn't even want the house anymore. I hastily called a car and rushed to the county clerk's office. I hadn't told Ethan about my return to the country this time. I had originally intended it as a surprise for him. "Could you please check for me? What's wrong with this marriage certificate?" I practically burst into the county clerk's office, slapping the marriage certificate from my hand onto the table. "Please take a close look. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it, right?" The clerk was clearly startled by this scene. Anyone would be frightened by a sweating woman staring wide-eyed at them. The clerk quickly picked up the marriage certificate and examined it carefully, then frowned and typed something into her computer. "This marriage certificate is indeed invalid. What we see here is that your partner, Ethan, filed for a dissolution of your marriage 2 years ago, on the grounds that you concealed a mental health condition." What? I was completely dumbfounded. A mental health condition? I don't have one at all. Seeing this, the clerk immediately printed out a document for me, which clearly stated I suffered from severe schizophrenia. But I was very clear and certain that I had no such issues. I underwent full medical checkups at the hospital every year, even visiting the psychiatry department. Clutching the paper tightly in my hand, I asked, then, "Could you check Ethan's current marital status for me?" Actually, I trusted Ethan unconditionally. In that moment, I impulsively blurted out that question. The clerk, just like before, typed something into the computer, and then her brow furrowed. "It shows here that Ethan is already married." The clerk paused. "His wife's name is Scarlett." That name I hadn't heard in a long time. In my mind, my only impression of Scarlett was that she was Ethan's good friend from college. I had looked through Ethan's graduation album. Scarlett was in 80% of the photos. Whenever I asked about her, Ethan would dismiss it with a single sentence, "We just used to hang out a lot, but we don't keep in touch anymore." And it was true. In all the time Ethan and I had been together, Scarlett had never once appeared in our lives. Now, she was reappearing, and it was on Ethan's marriage certificate. In that moment, my trust in Ethan completely shattered. The person I loved most, while I was abroad pursuing my doctorate and planning our future, had divorced me and gotten together with another girl. Dazed, I dragged my luggage back to my doorstep. The home I had longed for day and night now felt incredibly cold to me. As the key turned in the lock, something in my heart seemed to be locked away too. I'm home. After stepping into the entryway, my voice wasn't loud, but Ethan, who was in the living room, heard it. He practically rushed over to me, excitement practically overflowing from his eyes. Luna, you're back. Ethan immediately pulled me into a hug. Why didn't you tell me? I would have picked you up. I replied faintly, I didn't want you to be too tired. I had planned to give you a surprise when I returned. Ethan was so moved, tears streamed down his face. We're finally not in a long-distance relationship anymore. The in front of me was exactly as I remembered him. He loved me. He still loved me just as much. Did he really marry someone else? This question still lingered in my mind, but the next second, I heard a female voice from inside the house. Ethan, who's back? The girl took small, quick steps to the entryway. When she saw Ethan hugging me, half the happiness on her face instantly vanished. Then, she sensibly lowered her head. It's Luna. Ethan turned back as if realizing something, and then slowly released his arms from around me. He looked at the girl, then at me. I haven't introduced you yet. This is Scarlett, my old college friend. You should remember her. Before I could open my mouth, Ethan continued, I didn't expect you to come back so soon. Scarlett just got pregnant, and there's no one at home to take care of her, so she came to me for help. I smiled faintly, squeezing out a few words through gritted teeth, it's fine. Scarlett seemed to sense my unhappiness. Luna, don't misunderstand. My family situation is special, and there was really no one to take care of me, so I waved my hand, signaling Scarlett to stop talking. It's not easy for a woman on her own. It's fine. I leaned closer to Ethan and whispered, why didn't you tell me? Ethan looked a bit awkward. I thought it was better to avoid trouble. Ethan's words were the excuse of countless men. To break the awkward silence, Scarlett voluntarily picked up my luggage and walked toward the living room, as if she had already become the woman of the house. And I was the guest. Seeing this, Ethan immediately ran over and took the luggage from Scarlett's hands. Don't carry that, it's too heavy. Ethan's thoughtfulness was still as it had always been. You must be hungry. I'll make you some food. After had tidied everything up, he kissed my forehead. Get some rest. Watching's retreating I felt an unbearable ache. At this moment, Scarlett and I chatted aimlessly. When and I were in college, people always gossiped and said we were together. Ethan has always had a good personality, and he's especially nice to everyone, so it's normal for people to misunderstand. I chuckled, yes, he's too nice to everyone. Scarlett lowered her head and smiled too. But we really had a great time in college. We went everywhere together. We used to climb over walls to go to the gaming lounge, skip classes. Thinking back to those days, it all feels so wonderful. In that moment, I didn't know if Scarlett was sharing or provoking a fight. That's nice. Suddenly, something occurred to me. Scarlett, during the time I was abroad, did anything happen with Ethan? Scarlett seemed surprised by my question. She paused for a few seconds. No, everything was fine. When he was sometimes bored, I'd ask him to hang out, Scarlett mused. In the evenings, he would even go home on time, just to call you. So, during my 3 years abroad, their contact had never actually stopped, and I had been completely unaware of it all. What about the baby's father? I looked at Scarlett's belly. Why isn't he taking care of you? Scarlett caught the hidden meaning in my words. The baby's father, he abandoned us and left. As she spoke, tears welled up in Scarlett's eyes. Up to this point, I still believed Scarlett's words. Dinner's ready. The awkward conversation finally ended when Ethan finished cooking and called for us. Looking at the delicious food on the table, I said to Ethan, your cooking has improved. Ethan replied almost without thinking, of course. I cook every day. Then, he seemed to realize something and immediately fell silent. As far as I knew, when I wasn't around, Ethan always ordered takeout. He was rough on himself, but very good to those around him. Ethan's words meant that someone had been living in the house these past few years. Luna, don't just stand here. Scarlett pulled out the chair in front of me. Come, sit down. Ethan put a few slices of pork into my bowl. Eat a bit more. However, looking at the pork in front of me, I couldn't bring myself to pick up my chopsticks. Ethan had forgotten. I was severely allergic to pork. Luna, why aren't you eating? Is the food not to your liking? Scarlett asked, looking at me. We can ask Ethan to make something else. Ethan looked puzzled. Yes, tell me if something's wrong. I pursed my lips. I'm allergic to pork. Hearing my words, Ethan suddenly realized. I'm so sorry, Luna, I truly forgot. My mind just, it's no big deal. Scarlett said from the side. I used to be allergic to seafood, but I ate it every day and now I'm not allergic anymore. That's called fight fire with fire. Ethan's eyes widened. There's a method like that? Then, you should try it. Eat more and you'll be fine. Perhaps out of a desire for revenge, I actually took the first bite. Ethan had minored in medicine in college, so he couldn't possibly be unaware of the dangers of allergies. I would use this method to test Ethan's attitude towards me. Sure enough, 2 minutes later, large red rashes appeared all over my body, and I fainted onto the dining table. When I opened my eyes, I was looking at the hospital ceiling. Luna, I'm sorry, Ethan cried as he held my hand. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry. Looking at Ethan, who was still shedding tears, a hint of pity rose within me. Just then, a doctor shouted from nearby, "Who is Scarlett's family?" Ethan gasped, released my hand, "Over here." He pulled back the curtain and rushed out. The doctor spoke to him with a grave expression. He then rushed back to my bedside. Luna, Scarlett might be giving birth soon. Can you be by yourself? At that moment, I was still experiencing severe discomfort, and was even wearing an oxygen mask. Before I could answer, Ethan was already about to get up again. I'm going to check on Scarlett, I mustered all my strength to say one sentence. Ethan, let's get a divorce. In's heart, Scarlett was perhaps more important than I was. After heard my words, he froze. Luna, what are you saying? Ethan looked awkward. You shouldn't just say things like that. My gaze told Ethan that I was serious. Luna, I'm not leaving. Ethan realized I wasn't joking, and immediately knelt beside my bed. I'll just stay with you. I won't go anywhere. Seeing his aggrieved expression, my freshly made decision suddenly wavered again. After all these years of dating and marriage, Ethan truly was everyone's ideal partner. He looked up and saw my bag was almost empty. He gently smoothed my hair. I'll go call the nurse for you. I'll be right back. Ethan left for 2 minutes and then returned to my side. I won't leave. The nurse changed my bag and said to Ethan, the patient shouldn't be agitated. Ethan nodded, looking at me with concern. I won't. Perhaps because Ethan was by my side, I drowsily drifted back to sleep. I don't know how long I slept. When I opened my eyes again, Ethan was slumped asleep by the side of the hospital bed. The dark circles under his eyes clearly told me he was worried and he was tired. Just then, Ethan's phone, which was placed nearby, suddenly lit up. Impulsively, I picked up Ethan's phone. I took a deep breath. I couldn't fully trust Ethan yet. I could only reassure myself this way. The lock screen was still a photo of him and me. Sure enough, he still cared about me. I smiled faintly. Good. It wasn't until I opened WhatsApp that the mental barrier I had just built collapsed again. Scarlett's chat pinned at the top sent a photo of the baby and a message to Ethan that read, "Good thing you came to help me earlier, or I really couldn't have managed by myself." While I was asleep, Ethan had still gone to help Scarlett. I tried to console myself, it's okay, Ethan is just too nice to everyone, he helps anyone in need, but, Hen the next message popped up, I completely broke down. Look at this child, doesn't he look a lot like you? I tapped open the photo Scarlett had sent. The child's eyebrows and eyes were very similar to Ethan's. I scrolled up through their chat history. They had chatted on and off over the past few years, but not extensively. Next, I looked through Ethan's photo album. These past few years, Ethan had been with Scarlett the whole time. They had gone to concerts together, camped together, drunk and partied together. So the sparse chat history meant they had always been together. Under these circumstances, Ethan had actually managed to balance both relationships. The next second, Ethan suddenly groaned, as if having a restless dream. I used my own phone to take pictures of Ethan's infidelity as evidence, then quickly put it back. Looking at Ethan, who was sleeping peacefully in front of me, I swore I would never forgive him again. Ethan groggily opened his eyes and looked at me. Luna, you're awake. Are you feeling better? Facing his concern, I merely replied with a cold expression, a little better. Ethan immediately pulled an insulated lunchbox from beside his feet, placed it in front of me, and opened it. While you were asleep, I went home and made you a meal. It's very healthy. I was afraid you were too hungry. Looking at the steaming food in front of me, I mechanically picked up my chopsticks. Thanks. What are you saying? What's our relationship? It's what I should do. Ethan looked at me with a smile, his eyes full of doting affection. If I hadn't just seen the pop-up text message on Ethan's phone, I would have believed him. Dear customer, are you satisfied with your recent healthy meal order? Leave a good review and get a $5 rebate. To say Ethan was thoughtful would be an exaggeration, but he at least went to the trouble of deceiving me by putting the takeout into an insulated lunchbox. I deliberately asked about Scarlett. How's Scarlett? Didn't she give birth? Ethan waved his hand. Let's not talk about her. Taking care of you is my top priority. If she makes you unhappy, I won't be so nice to her anymore. Ethan held my hand. Please don't leave me, I love you. If it were before, I would have softened by now. But now that I knew the whole truth, I would feel like a fool to go back. Although I said okay aloud, in my heart, I was already planning my revenge. Ethan, Scarlett, you thought you had me completely fooled, but little did you know, this was all my trap. You should go check on Scarlett now. I'm fine. I patted Ethan's hand. It's not easy for her as a single mom, and the father is nowhere to be found. Ethan's expression changed, looking somewhat awkward. But, no buts. I'm not angry. Go check on her. I patted Ethan's head again. I'll wait for you. Ethan reluctantly got up. Then wait for me. I'll just go check. I nodded. Ethan pulled back the hospital curtain and walked out. His footsteps were heavy at first, but the moment he pulled the curtain shut and left me, they suddenly became light and hurried. How worried are you about Scarlett? I called my mom. Mom, I'm back in the country. The company I had Ethan manage before, give it back to me now. Mom's first reaction wasn't surprise at my return, but relief. You finally came to your senses. In everyone's eyes, Ethan had married above his station. His current success was entirely thanks to me. Mom, I won't disappoint you anymore. I packed up my things from the hospital and went home, pushing open the door. To prevent me from suspecting anything, Ethan had even prepared a guest room for Scarlett. But, in the master bedroom, there were clear signs of their life together. I picked up the ceramic figurine Ethan and I had made together. I murmured to myself, we agreed to write down anything we were unhappy with each other about, put the notes inside, and open them after 30 years. I forcefully smashed the ceramic figurine, and with a harsh shattering sound, notes scattered all over the floor from inside. Some of the notes were old and yellowed, full of the marks of time. I opened one. Ethan's handwriting was crooked. I love you. I have no complaints about you. Several consecutive yellowed notes all expressed Ethan's love for me. My gaze fell upon a brand new, white note nearby. With trembling hands, I opened it. 3 words were starkly written on it: I'm sorry. The next second, fury at the betrayal immediately surged within me. I rummaged through everything, trying to find other evidence of Ethan's disloyalty. It wasn't until I saw a bank statement that I fully understood. Ethan's plan was crueler than anyone else's. He tried to balance the 2 women, me and Scarlett. While transferring money to me, he would also transfer money to Scarlett, who was by his side. Whatever I had, Scarlett would have too. Just then, Ethan sent me a message on my phone. Luna, why aren't you at the hospital anymore? Where did you sneak off to? Reply to my message, I'm worried about you. I looked at my phone and sneered, I don't think we're right for each other. Let's end this. Let's get a divorce. As soon as I sent that message, Ethan didn't reply. 20 minutes later, Ethan burst through the front door and rushed to me, hugging me tightly. I don't know what's wrong with you. You're the one I love most. I gently pushed him away. I don't want to talk to you anymore. The next second, Ethan saw the messy room and then realized I knew everything. He fell to his knees with a thud. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I truly love you. I can't live without you. Tears streamed from his eyes. Let's not separate, okay? Looking at Ethan on his knees, my heart was completely unmoved. I truly loved you too. Is this how you treat me? Ethan frantically slapped himself. It's all my fault, all my fault. Did you marry Scarlett? Her baby is yours, isn't it? I said faintly. You still chose her. No, listen to me. Ethan sobbed, explaining, it was just an accident. At the party, we both drank too much. I stared intently at Ethan. Did your pants take themselves off? I know it's all my fault, so I've been trying my best to balance both of you. I love you both equally. I slapped Ethan hard. How dare you say something like that? Also, I've taken back control of Vance, and you're fired. At my words, Ethan was even more stunned. Luna, are you really going to be so cruel to me? I love you. I love you. I didn't soften this time. I called a moving company. Please come to my house now to pack things up. I'll pay extra. While the moving company worked, Ethan stood dumbfounded on the side. Even after the house was emptied, he didn't forget to express his love to me. I love you. When you come to your senses, you can come back to me. I'll always wait for you. For the next 3 days, Ethan waited outside my house, trying to gain my sympathy. On the 4th day, he even brought Scarlett and the baby to knock on my door. I slowly walked to open the door, wanting to hear what Scarlett had to say. Luna, this is my fault. Scarlett frowned. Look how miserable we are. We can't find a place to live so suddenly. Just let us move back in. I looked at Ethan. Don't you have any savings at all? Ethan stammered. I don't. Ethan had secretly transferred millions in hidden funds offshore, without telling anyone. If I hadn't turned the room upside down that day, I would never have known about this secret. I sneered. But what does his lack of money have to do with me? And the baby isn't mine, is it? You can't just stand by and do nothing, be so heartless. Scarlett grabbed my sleeve. How can you be so cruel? I was fed up with this sob story. I then took out a set of keys and tossed them to Scarlett. This is an old house. You can stay there for now. All of this was within my control. Ethan picked up the keys. After a few seconds of silence, then. I'll take Scarlett there to stay for now. Let me know when you've made up your mind. Immediately after, Scarlett linked arms with Ethan and turned to leave. I truly hadn't expected that Scarlett could accept such a twisted love triangle. An hour later, I turned on the security feed I had already installed in the old house. Scarlett was sitting on the sofa, holding the baby in her arms. She looked at Ethan expectantly. How much longer do I have to pretend with you? You promised that once she returned, you'd take all her assets and we'd run away together. Ethan kept trying to soothe her. I did promise you, but I didn't expect some issues to arise. Luna took back control of the office. Ethan was clearly distressed. I'm about to lose everything now. What? Scarlett's eyes widened. She knows everything? Ethan nodded. I was thinking, what if I use my old trick? She probably doesn't know about me forging the mental health certificate, only that I secretly filed for divorce. Scarlett anxiously stood up. Then hurry up and forge another one, and use it to accuse her of being unfit to be CEO. Little did they know, I had already contacted that person. A few days earlier, I had told him, if comes to you for forgery, I'll pay you double to forge one for him instead. He readily agreed. I will certainly do as you say. Ethan thought this would bring me down. 5 days later, he shed his gentle facade and swaggered into my office, clutching an unopened package. Luna, I didn't think you'd be so ruthless. He sneered. You know this company is my life's work. Actually, you have no business sense at all. I looked at Ethan coldly. In the years you've been in charge, the office has been continuously losing money. Haven't you noticed? Your only way to make money was through embezzlement. I tossed a bank statement to Ethan. I've investigated everything. This is enough to put you away for decades. Ethan was only shocked for a few seconds before he pointed at me. I have crucial evidence against you. Don't force me to reveal it. We can still make a deal right now. I shrugged. I'm not making a deal with you. Do as you wish. Ethan nodded sharply, ran out of my office, and shouted outside, everyone, come quickly. I'm about to expose your CEO's dark side. Upon hearing Ethan's words, everyone hesitated to stand up abruptly. After all, I was their highest superior. Seeing that Ethan couldn't rally anyone, I smiled, stood up, and walked to the doorway. Everyone, come and see. At this point, Ethan, standing nearby, had no idea what I was about to do. In his eyes, this was a do-or-die game. In my eyes, it was merely me orchestrating everything. After I called them, everyone quickly gathered. What's going on? I turned and looked at Ethan. Please begin your performance. Ethan confidently tore open the package, pulled out a medical report, and displayed it to everyone. See for yourselves. Your CEO has severe schizophrenia. How can someone like that have leadership? Furthermore, I already divorced her a long time ago, and we have no relationship now. After seeing the report, everyone covered their mouths. At that moment, Ethan glanced at me smugly, pleased with his own cleverness. Why don't you take a look yourself at what's written on it? I kindly reminded Ethan, don't make a huge blunder. Ethan scoffed and turned the medical report toward himself. The next second, he froze. The patient's name on it was, unbelievably, his own. My colleagues immediately started pointing at Ethan. Crazy person. And disturbing our office too. You were CEO for years, and now you want to oust our CEO Luna? Are you worthy? Ignoring feelings, I handed him a court summons. You illegally dissolved our marriage and secretly embezzled $3 million from the office. Do you admit it? I flung the bank statement at Ethan. I know all the dirty deeds you've done. Ethan's legs buckled, and he collapsed to the floor. No, it's not like tea. Hat. Listen to me explain. He looked at me with tear-filled eyes. Please give me another chance, okay? And you have an offshore account. Don't think I don't know about it. You told Scarlett you had no money, but you had millions from embezzlement in that account. You even made her willingly give you money. I was furious. And after all that, you still pretended to love both of us? In reality, you only loved yourself. After I exposed him, Ethan completely broke down. He crawled towards me, pleading for mercy. Just one more chance. I kicked him away fiercely and showed him the phone in my hand. It was on a call. I live-streamed this farce to Scarlett, not just to make her give up on my assets, but also to make her see this scumbag clearly. I put the phone on speaker, and immediately, Scarlett's abusive shouts came from the other end of the line. You heartless monster, you only love yourself. I drove Ethan out of my office. It is said that Scarlett and Ethan also separated. I felt no pity for either of them. All that remained was endless hatred. I sent Ethan to jail, ensuring he received the punishment he deserved. Since I took over the office, business boomed, and my life improved significantly. Sometimes, a bad partner is like a parasitic influence, keeping you stagnant and unable to move forward. But it doesn't matter. I'm about to embrace a new life,